The eyes of the world are going to fall on this place, Gleneagles, later this year when the resort in Perthshire plays host to the Ryder Cup's return to the home of golf. Now, officially, the match has only ever been here once before, and that was in 1973 when Muirfield, of course, played host. However, it can trace its earliest beginnings to indeed Gleneagles when an unofficial match took place in 1921. That was the precursor to what would become the Ryder Cup. Now, if you're anything like us, you'll be pretty keen to see what the place looks like and how it's shaping up for the match later this year. So, we've got unprecedented access to the hotel, to the Dormy house, and to the course to see how everything is getting ready for September. It's been almost 13 years since it was confirmed that Gleneagles would be given the honour of staging the 2014 Ryder Cup. Since then, a huge amount of work has gone on behind the scenes to get this magnificent Perthshire resort ready for playing host of what is widely regarded as one of the world's biggest and most important sporting events. We'll come to the course shortly, but first, let's check out where everybody will be staying. So this hotel is where most of the players, their families, caddies, the captains, vice-captains, other staff, European Tour personnel and PGA of America personnel are expected to be staying during the week of the match. Now I know you're as keen to see what the rooms look like as I am, so come on, let's go check them out. Hailed the eighth wonder of the world when it opened in 1924, the Gleneagles Hotel is a luxury French chateau-inspired building which includes 232 rooms and a further 26 luxury suites. During the week of the Ryder Cup, the two teams will be allocated different sections of the hotel. One will stay in the Braid House extension, with the other being put up in the contemporary Spirit Suites on the top floor of the hotel. Now, this room here is one of the Spirit Suites, which was designed and opened in 2008. It gets its name, the Spirit Suite, from the fact that Diageo, of course, owns the Gleneagles Hotel, hence Spirit. So every single room in the Spirit Suite collection has got a name linked to a particular whisky. Now, if we go into the room, you'll see that it's all beautifully furnished. It's got colours inspired by the Perthshire countryside, so lots of greys and purples and browns. It's all pretty nice. See the mattresses? Yeah, they're perfectly soft, so let's not hear any players complaining about having a bad back because they've not had a good night's sleep. No chance of that happening. Coming through, the bathroom there, but we don't need to see that. If you come into the second part of the suite, you'll see it's no ordinary hotel room. This is really rather nicely furnished. All the interior designs were done by Amanda Rosa, so you can see really rather nice for all the players, their families to sit and relax in. Pretty nice, isn't it? As well as beautiful guest rooms, the hotel also has a brilliant 1920s themed bar, its own shopping arcade, a luxury spa, coffee shop and no fewer than 4 fantastic restaurants. The two teams will have their own dining areas during the match, and one of those responsible for looking after their dietary needs is executive chef Alan Gibb.
We're well up for the challenge. It's been a great opportunity. Obviously we've looked at the menus, trying to bring in as much seasonal produce, Scottish produce, just whatever's really best available. The other things we are looking at is the diet of for the golfers themselves. These chaps are sportsmen. They need the right things, so we've concentrated on getting the right carbs, proteins in there, as well as some fresh fruit. So it's been good fun building up a balanced menu for them. We're going to feature Scotch beef. We're going to have the last of the Scottish berries really should be coming in still. Hopefully, if the weather stays, we'll hopefully still have some Scottish berries. We've got some great Scottish cheese, really artisan cheeses. So a few of them that we've got already featured into the menu. We've got some nice free-range duck coming on as well. So lots of different things. Again, depending on the menus are being written with a focus for the people who are there. So for the American team, some things that they would prefer, and then for the European team, again, some little changes there. So a little bit maybe more fish for the European team, and of course peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the Americans. Yeah, so we're trying to cover all bases. Yeah.
Whilst the hotel will be where the players, their families, caddies and match officials will stay during the week, the Dormy clubhouse will be where most of the off-course action will take place. Just a 2-minute walk from the front door of the hotel, it is set to be a hive of activity throughout the week. The impressive Gleneagles Dormy clubhouse recently underwent a massive renovation with over £2 million being spent upgrading the entire facility. So if we look over here, we've got the pro shop, which as you might expect is absolutely full of Ryder Cup merchandise, books, hats, shoes, you name it, there's a bit of everything. So going in, you can see just how nicely furnished the whole place is. And over here, important part for those of you who might be a little bit peckish after a day on the course, we've got the lounge and dining area. The relaxed and informal feel of the Dormy clubhouse will no doubt appeal to the players. It's bright, airy, with a largely open layout, and has a much less formal menu than they'll get over in the hotel. But for the most part, they'll be camped up in their team rooms. And this here is the Mitchell room, which is expected to be one of the team rooms for the Ryder Cup. You can see now it's set up looking pretty nice, but just imagine what it's going to look like in September when it's draped in flags and so on, and all the players are in here singing, hopefully cheering if you're a European, and all the atmosphere that's going to go with it. That'll look pretty impressive then. The view from the Mitchell room isn't half bad either, overlooking the 18th fairways of both the King's and Queen's courses. Of course, every team needs a good place to get ready and get changed, and as you might expect, the Dormy clubhouse has got that covered too. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who's going to be where? Maybe Poulter up there or Sergio up there? We'll see. When they're all suited, booted and ready to go, the players will walk down the locker room stairs and out the side door of the Dormy clubhouse to get on with the business of trying to win the 2014 Ryder Cup. Before any of that happens, however, on the Thursday, presumably, of Ryder Cup week, over there on the left-hand side, that's probably going to be where the opening ceremony of the match is going to take place. No one really knows as yet who's going to be involved in that. There's rumours the likes of Emily Sandé might be involved, even Susan Boyle perhaps. Time will tell. Now, if we look over here onto my right-hand side, you probably know that area better as the 18th of the King's and Queen's courses respectively. Now, they are going to be transformed into a practice area for the players to fine-tune their skills and warm up before they go out there and do battle. The 18th of the Queen's, I believe, is going to be turned into sort of chipping and bunker area. And then if we look right up the first of the King's, that there is going to be the driving range. It's going to be transformed completely. That's where you'll see all the Europeans, all the Americans hitting their shots right up the fairway, getting ready to go out there and do battle. So, like I was saying, this is the first of the King's, which is going to be transformed into the driving range for the week. You can almost imagine it now, can't you? All the players lined up there, hitting the shots right up the first to get ready for teeing off in the match. When they've hit their last shot here, the next shot they hit will be on the first tee of the PGA Centenary course, over this way. Come on, let's go check it out. So we can already see it now. Over there, you've got the first hole, all set up looking nice, but of course, players can't just go crossing roads willy-nilly. They're going to have to take this down through the underpass. Now, if you remember the 2010 match at Celtic Manor, looked pretty impressive with the players coming over the bridges. This time around, it's expected they're going to take a different route down underneath the road. You can always imagine how they're going to feel walking with their caddies. They'll be hearing the crowd over there. They'll be getting really pumped up, pretty excited. It's going to be pretty impressive, I reckon. You can almost imagine the heartbeats pumping almost out the players' chests as they're walking up here. They've come out of the underpass, the players have seen them, the fans have seen them, and they're all set, ready to go. And then this is where it all happens for them, doesn't it? This entire area you can see down here will be transformed into an absolute amphitheater of noise. There's going to be thousands of fans all lined up and ready to go. The players are going to walk up here, onto the first tee, over here, tee up their ball, if they can manage to do that, because let's face it, it's going to be nerves like you've never experienced before. And then, when they've settled themselves and they're all set to go, straight down that first fairway of the PGA Centenary course, and the Ryder Cup will be underway. Designed by Jack Nicklaus, the PGA Centenary course has seen some significant changes to get it ready for this September. Here's our guide to some of the holes we expect to play a pivotal role in deciding the overall outcome of the match. Okay, so we're around about 300 yards up the 9th fairway from the back of the tee. We've got roughly 250 left, and the reason this hole's so interesting is because of the changes that have been made to it. If you notice, just down there, that body of water is largely new. They've taken away a big bunker that was on the right hand side as you look down and replaced it with some water, creating a real almost right angle down there, making this a real risk and reward hole. Now the bigger hitters should be able to go at this in 2. Other guys might be more tempted to sort of bail out to the left hand side of the triangle of bunkers you can see up there. That's the safe option. But in the Ryder Cup, do you really want to take the safe options? Of course you don't. And that's what makes this such a classic match play hole. So the 11th on the PGA Centenary is arguably one of my favourite holes, and that's for a number of reasons. Now if you look behind me there, you'll see the teeing areas don't look like they're that far away, but we've only got 100 yards left in, and in this hole it's all about two things: getting your choice of club correct from right back in the tee, and that could be anything from a driver if you're feeling fairly brave, or it could be, say, a 4 or a 5 iron. The reason I'm saying the driver would be the brave option is because if we just come around this way, you'll see we've got a huge ditch just short of the green. Now if you get your approach shot even slightly wrong, then you're going to be in all kinds of trouble. Get it too long, there's a huge bunker at the back there ready to gobble it up. Get a little bit right, there's an even worse bunker. As you can see, with that pin position today, that's a severely tricky up and down. But most crucially, if you get it just short, you're going to be all the way down in the ditch. So, to say two things: get the club right off the tee, and then make sure your approach shot is absolutely on the money. It wouldn't be a Ryder Cup without having a drivable par 4, and the PGA Centenary provides that in the form of the 14th behind me. Now it's only about 302 yards from all the way back, so most of the players that you would imagine are going to be playing for either Europe or the USA are going to fancy their chances of reaching the green in one, if they choose to go for it. If they do, then they probably want to pay attention to some of the changes that have been made to the greenside areas around here. A couple of bunkers have been taken out and have been replaced with these swales, these sort of deep runoff areas off the back of the green. Now, if you do go at it and you don't get your shot just right and you don't get it on the green, these places here are going to gobble up those shots. They're going to leave you with a really tricky, nasty second. You could easily run up a 4, a 5 or a 6 here. Before you know it, you're handing over a hole to your opponent. With only a few holes left on the course, that could be decisive. The 16th is an absolutely superb par 5. Now first of all, let's hope your game goes that far. If it does, then again, this is a classic 2 or 3 shot par 5. The longer hitters are going to fancy their chances of getting at the green in 2. The shorter hitters might want to lay up into one of these areas round here. That's because, if we walk round, we've got a huge big lake right in front of the green. Now like I said, the longer hitters are going to fancy their chances of getting right in at that flag with their second shot. But, get it wrong, even just a fraction, you're going to be right there in the drink. And that's not where you want to be. And so here we are, the 18th green of the PGA Centenary course. This is where hopefully most of the action will unfold for the matches that go the distance. Now we'll come to shot strategy in a minute, but first of all you'll want to know about where you're going to be standing or sitting. Now if you look towards the back of the green up here, you'll see a long shelf up at the top of that mound. That's going to be a huge grandstand sitting up there. And then as we look back down the fairway, you'll notice the new mounding that's gone in. There's going to be spectators standing all the way down the hole, creating something of an amphitheater. And then on the opposite side altogether, we're going to have some corporate hospitality seating up that side of the fairway. So the players, as they walk up, are really going to feel that they're walking into something of a cauldron. And of course, if they're going to do that, they don't want to get it wrong when they get to the green. Now, a lot of changes have been made to this green, specifically the runoff areas and the swales. Again, a feature, something that's common to a lot of the changes around the course. Now if you get your shot again slightly wrong, punishment is severe. Now notice this here, we'll see just how far the ball travels if it just hits the top of the swale. Look how far that is going down. That's going to be slightly tricky. And then same again, the other side. Off it goes, down into oblivion. Tricky shots coming back in all directions, whichever way you want to look at it. That's why, again, like any time in the Ryder Cup, getting your shots absolutely spot on into the green is going to make all the difference. And there's going to be a difference between being the guy that's going to need consoled and the guy who's going to be lifting the Ryder Cup at the end of it. Central to getting the course in Ryder Cup ready condition was the installation of sub-air technology in 2011. Here to explain a bit more about how that works is head greenkeeper Steve Chappell.
Okay, well we installed a test unit into green number 10 back in 2010, and the results of that test period showed us that we were getting deeper rooting, the green was firmer, the plant was healthier, less disease activity. So in the winter of 2011 we pushed the button on a full installation, so we now have 19 units in all of the greens, including the putting green. In total, the project cost us £500,000, and the significant differences that we're seeing is root depth, firmness. Obviously, it gives us the opportunity to alter and monitor the soil moisture and therefore the firmness of the green. And you know, we're seeing, as I say, a stronger, healthier grass plant on the back of that.
So, as you can see, everything's taking shape nicely, much to the satisfaction of Gleneagles head PGA professional Andrew Jowett.
Obviously, I mean, it's one of the biggest global events available on a sporting scale. We've obviously got a strong heritage ourselves, but then to be associated with such a fantastic event is superb for us. We've got that little bit of a synergy with it from the first precursor match being held here, if you like. So there's almost a sensation of the event coming home. But we're just exceptionally excited. We want to replicate some of the excitement of recent matches, and I'm looking forward to putting on a fantastic show.
Unsurprisingly, Gleneagles Managing Director Patrick Elsmey echoes Jowett's sentiment.
Oh, it's a wonderful year. The Ryder Cup year was always going to be very special for us, and we've started the year up with a mild winter, so the golf course has had an opportunity to really come through the winter well, and we're all looking forward to just a fantastic year here at Gleneagles.
So the wait is nearly over. The 2014 Ryder Cup will take place at Gleneagles from September 26th to 28th. The only question still to be answered is this: who's going to win? Keep up to date with all the latest golf goings on at www.bunkered.co.uk.